Okay, what do we got here? Guys, I think we got some Ontario news coming up here. Um, oh, this is Ontario, California. Never mind. Sorry, people. Sorry. I got a little, yeah, okay, my bad. I saw Ontario and I assumed it was Canada, but this is Ontario, California. So they tricked me. I got clickbaited, but it's fine. Yeah, sorry to get your hopes up, David. It's actually Ontario, California. We'll pretend like it's Ontario, Canada. But okay, so I wanted to go over this. This was another thing that I saw on my on just like Twitter or whatever when I was waiting yesterday. But apparently there was a huge warehouse fire at I think some like paper supply place or something. Uh, and so I know that there was like a TikTok video of it, and I think people are comparing this to some extent to Luigi Mangione and his like his sort of brand of vigilante justice or whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this video. I assume that they'll have the TikTok as a part or whatever it was the of the person who did it. So let's go ahead and watch this.
The man accused of starting that massive warehouse fire in Ontario will face a judge for the first time tomorrow. The accused is an employee who allegedly posted the crime on social media.
CBS LA's Amy, or I should say Joy Benedict, is in Ontario with the charges that he's now facing.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
This cell phone video is startling. The fear clear.
Oh my God, this does not look good.
As a 1.2 million square foot warehouse in Ontario went up in flames Tuesday morning.
I heard a noise. It was like sizzling.
This worker, who doesn't want us to show his face, was one of.
Well, I'm hoping nobody got hurt, obviously. I would assume that, you know, if he was doing this for, like, you know, if he was doing this as an action against his company and the conditions that he worked under, then, you know, I would assume that he made precautions that nobody was in there. But yeah, from that TikTok video, I'm going to go back and watch it again, and I'll commentate on it.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
This cell phone video is startling.
So he said all you had to do was pay us enough to live, and then he showed himself essentially burning down the entire factory. And so so this is obviously a disgruntled person who is you know, upset with the company that he works at for you know, making probably a ton of money, like a ton of profits or whatever. But he is unable to, I assume, be able to pay for everyday, you know, goods and services that he needs to survive. So that's kind of what it seems like to me. And I get why people are comparing this to Luigi. And I do think, let's see, you think he did it for the views? I don't know anything about him, okay? I don't know anything about him. Maybe that was a part of it, but I will say this. As people become more upset with the system, right? As people's living conditions get worse and worse, and as these corporations make, you know, fistloads of money while people are, you know, starving or whatever, you are going to see more individual acts of vigilantism. Like it is just kind of an inevitability. So I guess what I would say is companies should probably, like, I think should take this somewhat seriously and try and keep their employees happy to an extent would probably be my recommendation to companies. But let's see what else
people inside the building at the time.
It was
One of 20 people inside the building.
Okay, see, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, so I have a saying. That is, property crime is not real crime if it's for a good cause. However, if you are going to engage in acts of civil disobedience or acts of property crime for righteous reasons or whatever, you have to make sure that nobody else is going to get hurt. That is something that you absolutely have to do. You need to make sure that like the building is completely evacuated, all that sort of stuff. Because I won't lie, if there was like if there was like a data center that was gobbling up all of my energy and like polluting my water and stuff, I would not be that opposed to someone going to that data center and just like lighting it on fire. However, I would want them to make sure that that everybody who was in there is out of there before that happens. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll let it keep playing.
It was in different locations that the fire was being set off. I'm very sure that this man was running splitting aisles, just lighting.
Police very quickly detained a fellow worker inside, Jamal Abdul Kareem, who was officially charged with 7 felony charges Thursday, including aggravated arson. This after he appeared to post video on social media of him starting the fire, a surprise to his fellow co-workers.
Going in, even fist bumping this man, like, hey, have a great day, like you're gonna do great today. You don't come to work with those intentions and then ruin everyone's life. Like, you're ruining people's life doing this.
This worker says Abdul Kareem was quiet and complained a little about the company, but nothing that alarmed him.
He seemed like the nicest, genuine soul, but I guess you can trust anyone.
With the building destroyed, he is fearful for his job and everyone who worked there.
How am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to survive?
I'm okay. Sorry. Sometimes I'm a little bit skeptical of this type of stuff, because I think that the news really tries to find they usually find people. I'm equating. I'm okay. So I'm doing a little bit of comparison in my head to how news coverages cover things like strikes and unionization efforts and things like that or whatever, and they tend to try to find people who will spit out the talking points of the corporation or whatever. And I do think a lot of times that involves like, oh, well, they're going on strike, but they're hurting all of the, they're hurting all of the workers, the other employees who work here. And it's like, they shouldn't, and so I'm a little bit like, I think that they might be doing a little bit of selective, like who they're picking out. Now, obviously there is going to be impact to these workers who worked there. To them, I would also say though, if human beings are human beings, and whether he did this for good reasons or bad reasons, or like not good reasons or bad reasons, what motivated him to do this, if it was for views, as Applejack said, or if it was, if he was just straight up disgruntled and like, did a pretty severe action. When it comes to doing those types of things, like those types of severe actions, it's just kind of a part of the human condition. And it's like the systems that we live under are built to try and destroy and like demoralize and humiliate the natural human and like try and pretend like the natural response of the human condition is like weird or wrong or bad to do or whatever. If you put somebody through like severe enough struggle just to survive while they're working minimum wage and stuff, like it's just an inevitability that eventually they're going to snap and do stuff like this. So so that's what I would say is, assuming that his motives were like what he said in the video, which is all we have to go off of right now. If those were his motives, then like the question is, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to either improve their material conditions, or society as a whole will have to suffer through vigilantism like this. There's really that is, like I said, just the human condition, is they will eventually snap if they're put under enough pressure. Yeah.
Like, none of us can now.
The company that runs the warehouse issued a statement saying, "We are in the process of placing all our impacted employees at other NFI operations within the area."
I don't know what's in store for me, and that's why I'm very worried. I'm very worried. Everyone should be worried that has been working in that facility.
But this worker says these last couple of days, he's gone through many emotions, angry, sad, and surprised, because he never would have thought anyone would have done this. Certainly not someone he knew.
There goes your inventory.
You don't go and burn a building down because your life is horrible. you're just gonna make other people's lives worse.
Some people do. Some people do. Like I said, that like I don't think that people snap eventually. They do. If their material conditions are bad enough, people snap eventually. It's not everybody. It's a, you know, there's a percentage of the population. But yeah, Applejacks, we'll see. Maybe there'll be like I understand your skepticism here. Okay, I get it. But I do want to like be like I do want to talk about like I think this is going to become more like I do think this is probably going to become more common in the future as people get like screwed more and more. And like I said, it's just kind of like you can't sort of stop it. It's the same way like you can't stop people from like, I mean, to bring it back to kind of the Iran stuff, like you can't stop people from joining like resistance organizations like Hamas if you keep them under occupation. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a natural human like a natural human instinct of the human condition that is if they're put under enough pressure they will resort to violent resistance in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that I would put out there, but we'll potentially get more info on it in the future. I'll try and keep my eyes out.